Welcome. This is James Corbett of the Corbett Report with your Eyeopener report for BoilingFrogsPost.com. That President Obama's selection of former Senator Chuck Hagel as Leon Panetta's replacement for Secretary of Defense should generate controversy and outrage is hardly surprising. It was not Hagel's membership in the Bilderberg Group or the Trilateral Commission or his support for the illegal drone strikes of the Obama regime, however, but a rather elementary declaration of fact that drew the sharpest criticism from the pundits and talking heads inside the Beltway.
I'm a United States Senator. I'm not an Israeli Senator. I'm a United States Senator. I support Israel. But my first interest is I take an oath of office to the Constitution of the United States, not to a president, not to a party, not to Israel.
Hagel's record is very, very troubling on the nation of Israel. He has not been a friend to Israel.
Senator Chuck Hagel is a top candidate to become the new defense secretary in the second Obama administration, but there is some opposition questioning Hagel's support for Israel.
Chuck Hagel, if confirmed to be Secretary of Defense, would be the most antagonistic Secretary of Defense toward the state of Israel in our nation's history.
Sadly, the idea that an American senator's acknowledgement that he is, in fact, American and not Israeli should draw such fierce criticism is not the least bit surprising. One expects there would have been no uproar at all if Hagel had merely echoed the words of Dick Armey, who stated, "My number one priority in foreign policy is to protect Israel." Perhaps America is his number two priority, he didn't say. The faux controversy surrounding Hagel's remarks has to be seen in the light of one of the most electrifying third rails of American politics, the Israel lobby. Although only ever acknowledged by the mainstream talking heads long enough for them to dismiss the very idea as conspiracy theory, the Israeli lobby's profound influence on the course of American politics is an established fact, stretching back decades. In his memoirs, President Harry S. Truman wrote of the period leading up to the creation of the State of Israel in 1948. "I do not think I ever had as much pressure and propaganda aimed at the White House as I had in this instance. The persistence of a few of the extreme Zionist leaders, actuated by political motives and engaging in political threats, disturbed me and annoyed me." Former AIPAC staff member Douglas Bloomfield has admitted that AIPAC is often called upon to draft speeches, work on legislation, advise on tactics, perform research, collect co-sponsors, and marshal votes for Congress members, and that it is common for members of Congress and their staff to turn to AIPAC first when they need information, before calling the Library of Congress, the Congressional Research Service, committee staff, or administration experts. And in her presentation to the 9/11 Revisited conference in Kuala Lumpur last November, former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney discussed the expectation for all incoming congressmen and women to sign a pledge to Israel, with the understanding that their congressional career will come to an ignominious end if they don't comply.
To be honest, I didn't even know what a Zionist was. All I knew was that I had been asked to sign a pledge for Israel when I first became a candidate for Congress. And after refusing to do so, my congressional career became trench warfare, hand-to-hand combat, just to remain in the Congress. Ever since my refusal to sign that pledge for Israel, the pro-Israel lobby let me know that my political neck was in the hangman's noose.
Discussion of the Israeli lobby and its influence in Washington tends to center on AIPAC, the largest Israel-centered lobbying group currently operating in the U.S. The oldest continually operating such lobby group, however, the Zionist Organization of America, was for decades one of the most powerful lobbying organizations in the country, helping to shape American policy toward the formation of Israel. Its members have been connected to illegal Israeli smuggling rings of both conventional and nuclear weapons technologies, and it is currently embroiled with the American government in a fight over its tax-exempt status. You've been watching an excerpt of this week's Eyeopener report. To continue watching the report, please log into BoilingFrogsPost.com. Available now from BoilingFrogsPost.com.
You know, they arrested me for taking pictures. That was obvious. Well, they couldn't really write that in an arrest report. So they said, well, he was standing in the middle of the street. He was blocking traffic.
DNA profiles of innocent people arrested in England and Wales can now only be held by police for a maximum of 6 years.
The technological police state that we see developing today is the access to advanced methods and techniques of control.
On the ground!
This technology is not the stuff of sci-fi fantasy, but increasingly a part of our everyday lives. The new Boiling Frogs Post DVD, The Police State, available from boilingfrogspost.com. Including all 4 episodes of the Police State series of James Corbett's Eyeopener report, 2 bonus Eyeopener reports, an exclusive interview with boilingfrogspost.com member Andrew Gavin Marshall, and a Paul Jamiel political cartoon gallery. Order your copy today at boilingfrogspost.com.